The Catacomb
podcast.
Created by a madman's distorted desires.
What do you think will be the next obstacle the Earth people will put in our way? The saucers are up there, and the cemetery's out there.
What up, party people? My name is Javin Romero, a.k.a. Giancarlo Scambulari. Shout out Cello Scambulari. And welcome to this episode of the Catacomb Cult Podcast. And yeah, it's been a couple weeks. I've missed you. I've a lot has happened since then. I've grown up a lot since then, made some better choices. You know, lettuce wraps, Michelob Ultras, kale chips, etc., etc. This isn't Michelob Ultra, but, you know, we're allowed a cheat day. I'm allowed a cheat day. Jeez. But, yeah. I'm glad to be here. I won't go this long without releasing an episode again. A lot of people voiced their opinions to me rather harshly. No, I'm joking. But, yeah, just people close to me are like, where the fuck's the new episode? Where's the new episode? So, I won't go that long again. And I have some cool stuff planned for future episodes. This is another episode where I did no research, because I definitely want to do some episodes where I do research. I want to delve in on a topic and thoroughly learn for myself and learn with you guys as we journey into that subject. But you know, that's obviously going to take some prep and time, and this week was just hellish with work. It was hellish with work. But anyway, I'm glad to be here. Bazooka's on the couch once again. I want to get a cat tower with a little bed on top for her to lay right here. I wish she would lay on my lap like Dr. Evil, but she's a spazoid, you know what I mean? She's a spasmatic. Speaking of little Zookas, we almost just died. Or she almost just died. There's this little alley in the back here called Pitbull Alley, or I dubbed it Pitbull Alley. And it's these fucking pit bulls, giant pit bulls, not regular pit bulls from the 90s. These are mutated fucking alligators, man. And you know, when Bazooka walks, she kind of flutters. She kind of skips, her paws she kind of bounce. Remember Pepe Le Pew used to bounce? Bing, 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 bing. That's kind of how Bazooka walks. Her legs don't even move. Her paws just propel her forward. You know what I mean? It's ding, 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 ding. And she just kind of bounces and flutters by like a little butterfly. And these pit bulls, they don't flutter. They don't bounce. They grip the ground like fucking alligators. They pull themselves across the ground like demons with no legs. You know what I mean? And yeah, they're like 90 pounds, fucking just straight up muscles. And they're scary as shit. And I'm not prejudiced against pit bulls, but these ones are fucking mean. I used to have a pit bull. She was lovely. These ones are fucking mean. And when we walk by, they want to kill Bazooka. And the gate's only this high. I guess I gotta just stop going through there. That dude needs to fucking raise his gate. He's gonna have a problem on his hand. And as cliche as it is, I've seen those pit bulls go nuts for the mailman too. Classic dog mailman. When the mailman walks by, he's like, oh shit, you know. That guy's got a lawsuit on his hand waiting, I bet, man. But anyway, yeah, Bazooka just flutters by, you know. And then we came around the corner and there was another pit bull, this blue nose pit. Beautiful dog. But wanted to kill her. It's something about little Bazooka. I never had this problem with Skeezer because she was a big old pit bull bitch, you know what I mean? And people were afraid of her, even though she was the nicest dog on the fucking planet. She could give a crap about another dog. Other dogs would try to fuck with her. She just would walk away. She didn't care about anything. I never had that problem giant dogs lunging at little Bazooka or lunging at my dog. Because there's another dog in the complex that's like, they smoke outside sometime. I don't want him to hear me. But there's another dog, and he's a lab. He's a yellow lab. I grew up with labs. Labs are nice as shit. Not this one. It wants Bazooka's ass when we walk by. Something about it. She knows how to twerk. Maybe that's what it is. She like twerks her little rump around, you know what I mean? She throws that thing around. Drives the other dogs crazy. Fuck Khalees bring the milkshake to the yard. Bazooka brings the Pitbulls to the yard. Word up. So yeah, like I said, there's no real topic on here, just my notes. And let's go through them and see what we're going to talk about. QAnon? Nah. I watched the documentary on HBO, Into the Q. And yeah, I just, why even bring more light to that shit, man? I whatever gets you through, I'm not like hating on you because I have a lot of friends that are QAnon. I have like, let me count them. I have like 6 friends on Facebook that are pretty close friends that are hella into QAnon. And it's obvious their theories and stuff are unraveling, but they don't want to accept it, which I get, I get. Even when I'm in an argument and somebody has proven me wrong in that argument, I'll still argue, you know what I mean? It's just human nature. We don't want to ever secede. But yeah, QAnon, just believe whatever you want. Just don't do anything fucking nuts, man. What's up, everyone? Javin here. I just wanted to take a second to mention my online store. We have prints, t-shirts, hats, and special gifts with each purchase. Everything is handmade and designed by myself or other amazing artists I know. Quality materials and timely shipping, plus that extra special ingredient, love and appreciation. Your support helps my creative endeavors and supports other artists like me. Visit thecatacombcult.bigcartel.com. Yo, new and limited items are cycled through there all the time. So at the Catacomb Cult on Instagram or my personal page at Javin Romero. The revenue I see from this shop gets poured right back into things like short films, photo shoots, lunches, and gas money for any crew or actors helping me out, locations, all that. Plus you get some dope shit. So thank you once again. Let's cultivate. That's stupid. All right, thanks. Peace.
Welcome back to the Catacomb Cult Podcast.
Bad Baby. What a Bad Baby. Oh, yeah. Bad Baby did her OnlyFans. She turned 18 and she started an OnlyFans. And she claimed she made $4 million in 24 hours or something. I could be wrong on that, but something like that. It was something crazy like that. Yeah, I believe it. There's a lot of dudes. They did that with the Olsen twins too, you know what I mean? Fucking dudes are gross. It's funny. I don't give a fuck about that, but it is funny, like the hypocrisy in everything. Well, never mind. Whatever. Fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Like DMX died. I'm speaking of hypocrisy. DMX died. R.I.P. DMX. I fucking love DMX. When I went to county in Phoenix, supposedly, I don't know, but supposedly the dude who I was in a jail cell with was like, yo, I was just in a jail cell with DMX. So, DMX loved Phoenix and shit. So, but anyway, yeah, he just died, and RIP, I loved him. He was a major influence, but it was just funny seeing all the journalists saying like, America failed another addict. America, blah, blah, blah. Let me see if I wrote. United States failed him like so many other addicts. Like the United States, DMX didn't have the resources to do, it was his personal, it's sad as fuck, but how are you gonna drag the United States into that? It's from both sides. I hate on both sides, by the way. The woke people are fucking ridiculous, and then the fucking super conservative whatever nationalists, they're like the modern day nationalists, fucking America's the best, America's those people annoy the fuck out of me too. But this was a woke article, and it was the United States failed another addict. It's like, no, DMX is a millionaire. Even towards the end, I don't know how much money he had, but I'm sure he had more than the average fucking cat on the street who's struggling with addiction. You know what I mean? So, but you know, it was his decision. He was an addict, and you know, I'm not saying that's not a hard thing. He was an addict, and I'm sure he didn't want to be an addict, but he had more resources than anybody, like, to help get himself clean. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying like he killed himself, and I'm not trying to make light of that or like say like he deserved it at all. I'm being, you know, a lot of my closest friends and family are hardcore addicts, and they tell me how fucked up it is. And yeah, you know, like, so I'm not judging him at all. I'm judging this guy who wrote the article, but it was a trip to see all these woke hipsters posting shit about DMX, like tributes to DMX. And when I've seen them post some crazy far left stuff, and I don't mean like far left, I don't want to say like I'm not right wing at all, I'm a liberal, but these cats are, I've seen them post just crazy stuff that doesn't even make sense, far left stuff. And then they post a DMX tribute, which is cool, whatever, but you can't really post that kind of, you can't really post those far left things anymore if you post a tribute to DMX, okay? Because, like, I mean, you can, I'm not saying what you can and can't do. I'm not trying to be political. I fucking hate politics. But just listen to the first verse of Where the Hood At, okay? If you can stomach that and still post what you're posting about this and that, okay, then just call yourself a hypocrite and be honest, because fuck it. All right, fuck that. I'm sorry. I don't even want to talk about that kind of shit. Yeah, it's been a volatile time, man, this past couple weeks and shit. I put a lot of notes of stuff, but I don't really want to talk about that shit, man. A lot of like police brutality stuff and people posting thin blue line bullshit, and I just don't even want to fucking talk about that. I did at the time because, you know, I was probably drunk scrolling Facebook and seeing people just post stupid shit. Facebook is the fucking devil, man. Like, it's, I know I'm an old man. The youngsters aren't even on Facebook anymore, and I'm barely on Facebook. I just post this type of shit and hit the bricks, but man, it's toxic. Because if I'm on there for 20 minutes, I see it, man. These people fucking come together like cats and dogs, man. But yeah, speaking of DMX and addicts, I'm kind of, you know, I have Medi-Cal now, you know what I mean? And I love it. It's great. It's beautiful. Kinda. It's all right. But, you know, I have Medi-Cal. Yeah, I'm trying to get my like life a little better, like mentally maybe and stuff. Maybe get a physical or something. I haven't had one of those since I was 12. Like, and get my fucked up teeth fixed and shit like that. Maybe fix this septum from all the yayo. And no, I don't have a fucked up septum. Yeah, fucking, I've been, you know, trying to get my mind right. So I've been talking to somebody, trying to get prescribed a Band-Aid. So when I have a stressful situation, I can just pop that pill, and not as a habit forming thing. Cause I'd use them sparingly for like interviews and shit like that. The shit that bugs me out. You know what I mean? But whatever. I don't got to explain myself. I'm fucking grown. I don't care if I do become habit forming on them. Anything is better than this. All right, I'm just joking. I was talking about DMX being an addict, right? And so anyway, I say all that to say I'm seeing someone. Not a therapist, maybe a counselor, maybe a shrink, but I'm seeing somebody, you know what I mean? And trying to get my mind right a little bit. And yeah, she basically told me, like, you know, it was a preliminary fucking thing where she just asked me all these questions, and she basically told me I was a raging alcoholic. And because she asked me, she was like, she asked me all these other questions like, do you do drugs? Do you smoke weed? Do you do pills? And I'm like, no, no, no. She's like, do you drink? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, how much? And I was like, what does that mean? Like, how much, like, compared to what? Like, how much? And she was like, do you drink, like, a few times a month? And I was like, oh, yeah. And she was like, do you drink a few times a week? I was like, yeah. And she was like, do you have a few drinks a night? And I was like, yeah, I drink every day. Let's just say that. I drink every day. And she's like, okay, how much per week? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know, fucking how much per week? Like, that's math. That's math Albert Einstein can't even do. But she was like, okay, how much do you drink a night? And I was like, I don't know, like sometimes I drink like 5 beers a night. Sometimes I'll drink 12. You know what I mean? She's like, oh my. And she's like, oh my. And I'm like, I was like, yo, you heard me say beers, right? Beer isn't real alcoholism. But anyway, she was like, okay, yeah. She was like, yes, it is, by the way. Beer is alcoholism. But I was like, okay, like 5, 6, 7 beers a night. I won't even know. And by the way, this is like over a 3-hour period. Like I won't even register that I'm buzzed. You know what I mean? And then I was like, well, I do like sometimes have a little wine with beer, even though it started off as a gross combo, but it's become something I love most. And anyway, she was like, okay, let's just say you have 7 beers a night. And 7 times 7 is 49. Alexa, what's 7 times 7?
7 times 7 is 49.
Yeah, okay, I got it right. So yeah, 7 times 7, she said it, I just couldn't remember. And she was like, 49. And I was like, oh, okay. Damn, that's a lot of money. Like in my head, I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. But, and she was like, does that seem high to you? And I was like, yeah, I mean, that seems high. I think it would be more if it was 7 drinks of like whiskey, you know what I mean? Like if I had 7 glasses of whiskey a night, I think that would be more fucked up. But she's like, no, a drink, a shot, a beer, all's the same thing. And I'm like, oh, all right, whatever. I can't, 7 shots, I'd be pretty fucked up, but whatever. She could be right. I sound defensive, like a defensive alcoholic. And then she was like, it's 14. And I was like, what's 14? She's like, it's 4. I don't know why she was so cryptic the way she talked. I'm not even exaggerating. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit on like my things that I say, but the shit that she said was exactly like, it's 14. And I was like, 14 what? And she was like, it's 14. I was like, what the? We're on video. I was like, what? 14 what? Like, yeah, 14. That's a number. Like, what are you saying? And she's like, no, a grown man should have at maximum 14 drinks a week. And I was like, a week? That's 2 beers or that's 2 drinks a night. The fuck, bitch? We're trying to like escape reality, not like, sorry, I didn't mean to call you bitch. No, I didn't call her a bitch, but I was like, what the fuck? I'm trying to escape reality, not like, I'm trying to relax at the end of the night. Not just drink for the taste, even though I do drink for the taste. But yeah, so that was pretty disheartening. In fact, let me, oh, goodness gracious. Whoa. Let me refill my, I don't even have my headphones on. Let me get a little drinky poo, a little drinky clinkety clinkety. Oh yeah. Hello, welcome back everybody. Oh, God. But yeah, like, so that was disheartening about her. And it's like, man, and, I kind of spilled my guts to her. Like, we don't have to get into it, but I kind of spilled my guts. And, I try to say like, yo, I don't have the average anxiety. It's not just social anxiety like everybody has, or it's not anxiety about giving a presentation at work, because that's normal. Everybody has that kind of shit, unless, you know, some people don't, but they're those people. There are those people. But most people have one of the biggest fears is not death. It's public speaking. That's one of the biggest fears in America. It's not death. It's public speaking. People would rather die than do a public speak in public. Jeez. But I'm just saying. So I like spilt my guts to her about that shit. And I was just like, you know, quit harping on this fucking, because I had anxiety before I ever drank. So quit trying to like say I'm depressed because of it. But whatever. I'm just trying to get them beta blockers, baby. But, oh yeah, it did remind me about how dumb I am and how naive and wanted to be cool I was when I was a little kid. I mean, obviously now I'm the coolest, you know what I mean? I'm the epitome of cool. But when I was a kid, right, I bought this, I saved up like allowance money or whatever, helping my dad work. I'm talking like real young kid. I'm fucking 10. And then I was walking down the street and I saw this other kid. He had mad motorcycles. He was like a dirt bike dude, but he had this old little mini bike. I always wanted a Honda 50 because my homie Dalen had one. And it was fucking dope. His was like dope, new Honda 50. You know, those are these tiny little bikes. And I wanted a little mini bike. And I was walking down the street, and there was this one cat, I can't remember his name, but he just had mad, you know, he had like 120s or 150s, whatever you call them. And then he had a 500 that was giant. And but he had this little Honda 50 on the side of his house that was like from the 50s. It was all metal and shit. It was like, it looked like something out of World War II. He even welded he broke off one of the handlebars, so he welded a crowbar to it. So it was kind of sketch. But I was like, yo, man, let me have that. Let me get that. And he was like, I can't even remember how much he sold it to me. I think he sold it to me for $50 too. It was like synchronicity, like 50. From the 50s, $50, you know. But anyway, yeah, like I think he sold it I can't remember if it could have been more, it could have been less. I don't think I spent more than $50. I didn't have money like that. But yeah, fucking he gave it to me, and it didn't run, so I had to walk it home. And my neighbors, Delbert and Gilbert, shout out Delbert and Gilbert, these two brothers who lived across the street, these two native cats, they used to teach me cuss words in Navajo and stuff. It was cool. But yeah, they fucking took a look at it and ended up getting it running and shit. And it was dope. I loved the thing. I fucking cruised around everywhere on that thing. Go to the store. I was just like, it was like having a car as a little kid, you know what I mean? It was fucking badass. I would have people on the back, sometimes going up on a hill. If somebody was in the back, it was like kind of grinding to a halt. But yeah, it was amazing. I love that thing. And I got in trouble. I got a ticket. It's still on my record for some reason. It's so crazy. I got a ticket because I was chasing a fire truck to like an accident or something. And yeah, they gave me a ticket because I wasn't wearing a helmet or something. But, you know, parents never made us wear helmets back then. But anyway, I think my mom tried to make me wear a helmet a lot. And I was like, Ma, I ain't going to the fucking park wearing this fucking helmet and getting laughed at by all my fucking friends, all right? It was something about not wearing a helmet was cool back then. You know what I mean? You don't wear helmets. You're a fucking dweeb if you wear a helmet. I was like, Ma, there's no way. She bought me she's like, this is a real cool helmet. Tony Hawk wears this helmet. And I was like, Ma, I ain't wearing that fucking. This is how we talk. You know, we grew up in Hell's Kitchen, like I said in the last episode. I was like, Ma, I ain't wearing no fucking helmet. They're all gonna laugh at me. They're all gonna push me in the mud, and they're gonna throw that helmet on. They're gonna make sure that helmet works. They're gonna beat my head with rocks if I wear that fucking helmet. I ain't wearing no fucking helmet. End of story. I was like, I'll burn this house down right now if I gotta wear a fucking helmet. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. I got a ticket for not wearing a helmet. Yeah. Anyway, I love that thing. I love that bike, and I so wish I still had it. And here's why I was dumb. Because the older boys, the older kids, this cat Noah, I can't remember his last name. This fucking dude Noah. Oh, my mom hated him. She's like, I don't like you hanging out with Noah. He introduced me to cigarettes. He almost caused a forest fire a few times. So maybe I had this bike when I was like 8. Yeah, shit, man. Oh, shit. But yeah, he hustled me out of that bike. He was like, yo, I'll give you a quarter of weed. And this is back in the day. A quarter ounce of swag weed back in the day cost $20 to $25. You know what I mean? It's not like chronic. There was no chronic. I mean, there probably was, but there wasn't around when I was around. And he was like, I'll give you a quarter of weed. So that's $20. $25. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. $25. And this old boombox that didn't even work, by the way. I set it up and it didn't even work. And there was nothing I could do. I went over to his house and I was like, yo, this boombox doesn't work. And he was like, it worked when I gave it to you. And I was like, fuck that, dude. Like, I started like giving him shit. I was like, no, man, like, give me this. He was like, what the fuck you gonna... He punked me. He was like, what the fuck you gonna do? I'll fucking beat your fucking little ass, blah, blah, blah. And I was a little kid. I dipped. I was like, fuck you, man. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you, man. And took that beat up boombox that didn't even work and fucking bounced. And man, fuck those kids, man. You see that type of shit happening? I think, they say like don't interfere. I think you got to interfere on that kind of shit. Because this was the 1950s. And, I paid like $50 for it. That's a lot of money to a fucking 10-year-old, an 8-year-old. It's a lot of money now. I miss that thing. And for some reason, I don't even know why, but when I think about it, it still fucks me up. I'm like, man, I'm fucking 34. I'm about to be 35 next month. And it just still fucks me up. Fuck you, Noah. Piece of shit. Not my other friend, Noah, who I met in middle school. He was cool. Noah, you know who you are. Kachina Village, motherfucker. Oh, yeah. All right, we'll, end it on this. I feel like I've been stuttering a lot. It might be, dude. Oh, jeez, Louise. Oh, Jesus. Sorry, it's snowing in May. But I feel like we'll end it on this. I don't know. How are you guys feeling about this pandemic? I'll be honest. Can I be honest? I fucking kind of was today. I know we're seeing the end of COVID. Everything, traffic's back in LA. It's fucked in LA. Things are coming back to normal. And I'm kind of nostalgic for May, April of last year. When this was all brand new. And you were like, what's going to happen? What is this? This is weird. And maybe it's because I don't go clubbing anymore. I do miss shows. I do love going to shows. And I do miss doing that. So I hope those come back because I will go to shows. But I do miss the beginning of the pandemic. Not the tragedies and people dying. I'm sorry. I don't want to say that. But I do miss the fucking pandy. The beginning of the pandy. It was kind of exciting for me. I was creative as fuck, made 3 short films, did a bunch of other little stuff, started a podcast, wrote almost a full script. I need to finish that bad boy. But yeah, like it was so fun. Actually, it was so fun. It was scary at the same time. Like, oh shit. Is this it? Is this Outbreak? Is this fucking Planet of the Apes? Is this fucking it? You know what I mean? But, you know, I would go get food, made a bunch of different. I became a way better cook this past year. I've always been like an okay cook, but I think I've become, not to like stroke my own ego, but I think I've become like an actual dope ass cook. And I don't want to say chef, that has reverence behind it. But yeah, it's been crazy. And I do kind of miss those times. That was fun. I'm kind of nostalgic for the beginning of the pandemic. Is that wrong? But anyway, let's end on a positive note. I don't even know what this will be. Let's look up the latest UFO news. Because I'm watching For All Mankind on Apple TV, and I fucking love that. I think it's dope, and I love space shit. If you know me, I love space shit. I love rocket shipping to the moon, you know what I mean? A series of blinking pyramid-shaped, unidentified aerial phenomena, that's what they call them now. It's not UFOs anymore. It's UAPs. Were filmed by a Navy space over the destroyer in San Diego. Damn, when was this written? Oh, April 16th. Jesus. Hold on, let's hear the video.
In night vision video from a Navy destroyer, a mysterious flying triangle above the deck of the ship. The Pentagon confirming the images obtained by documentary filmmaker Jeremy Corbell were taken by Navy personnel, expected to be a part of a report on unidentified aerial phenomena.
Jeremy Corbell's the documentarian who did Bob Lazar. He did like Skinwalker Ranch. He did a few others too. So he's he's dedicated. He doesn't seem to be too objective about things sometimes. But, you know, I don't know him. Maybe he is. So he got this footage, of course, right? Like, I'm a fucking believer. And all I've ever wanted in my life was to see a fucking UFO. But I never get to. I never get to see a fucking UFO. That's all I ever wanted.
To be presented to Congress this summer. Already online, some skeptics say the images are caused by cameras trying to focus. But some of the objects go beyond just flying in the sky. One shows a spherical object dipping into the ocean, similar to an incident in Puerto Rico, where an object was tracked buzzing an airport, then flying into the water,
shit's kind of
popping
wild
back
right there.
out before appearing to split into two and disappearing. Over the last several weeks, some of the nation's top former intelligence...
The only thing with this video is it's so lo-fi. I know they're doing thermal imagery and shit like that, so it's like black and white and on these radars, but it's like, yo, it's also 2021. Cause like this stuff, this black and white, I know it's confirmed fucking footage or whatever, but this black and white weird fucking thermal imaging, I could do this shit in After Effects in like 2 fucking hours, you know what I mean? Or 2 minutes, not 2 hours. 2 hours, I could make a fucking Millennium Falcon, you know what I mean?
Officials
No,
have
I'm
been
not that
raising
cool.
eyebrows.
It's rotating.
I mean, that's the
Former
classic
CIA
one that
Director
everybody's
R.
seen.
James Woolsey said,
I don't know. Let's get to the next UFO news. I don't know about HuffPo. Miley Cyrus was either chased down by a UFO or had too much weed wax. Ugh, okay. We'll get out of HuffPo. HuffPo. Okay. I've heard of this one. Alien pyramids on the moon. Heard of that one a long time ago, actually. That shit's old school news. But let's end on something fun like this. Something that can make our imaginations run wild. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to find something cool, and everything, even UFOs are fucking politicized. There's a right and left wing, like I wouldn't even be surprised if I saw like Fox write like how the Democrats feel about UFOs and what they're gonna do to our planet, and fucking the Democrats being like, yo, the Republicans are saying UFOs not in my country. Build a fucking what do they call it? A Dyson sphere. That's what it is. Let's build a Dyson sphere. That'll be the next build the wall chant. Build a Dyson sphere. Let's look up what a Dyson sphere is. That's what I remember. So it wouldn't block you, but it's basically structures that you build around a sun, and they're saying you could actually do it with a mass amount of satellites, and it just collects energy.
There will come a time in the future when we've exhausted all the fossil and nuclear fuels. And once we've harvested as much wind, solar, and geothermal energy as our planet can produce, we're going to need to move out into space and collect energy directly from the sun. We will construct larger and larger solar arrays, beaming the energy back to Earth.
Yep.
Inevitably, we'll enclose the entire sun in a cloud of solar satellites, allowing us to make use of 100% of the radiation it's emitting. This is a Dyson sphere. The concept was first developed as part of a research paper in 1960 by the physicist Freeman Dyson. In a thought experiment, he assumed that the power needs for civilizations never stops increasing. If our descendants could actually figure out how to enclose our star in a rigid shell, we'd have 550 million times more surface area than Earth has right now and generate 384 yottawatts of energy.
So what it was he saying? Like, he was talking about a rigid shell around the Earth. That sounds like science fiction, bro. Here we go. Here's Dyson spheres. Explain.
A giant sphere. What is a Dyson sphere?
Oh yeah, I'm getting back in the mood, baby. Hell yeah.
A Dyson sphere is a hypothetical megastructure that completely encompasses a star.
What's this, a 9-year-old?
A large percentage of its power output.
It might be
The
like a
concept
kid's
is a thought
project.
experiment that attempts to explain how a spacefaring civilization will meet its energy requirements. Once those requirements exceed what can be generated from the home planet.
Well, I can't really listen to that. But it's basically a fucking sphere that would encapsulate a sun. It's a sphere that would encapsulate a sun, whether satellites or in this, they're saying like an actual fucking rigid like structure, which would be what? That would take billions of years to even make probably. But, you know, maybe if we had a little booger sugar, we could do it in a couple weeks. But, you know, anyway, all right, we'll end that. I couldn't find any good, solid UFO news. That's what I mean when I say I have to do research on these next episodes. Cause yeah, it's like I know the stories that I wanna do a whole episode on Rendlesham Forest, which is a thing in the 80s in army base in England. And a few other, like, there's the Mexican Roswell, there's the Brazilian dots or whatever they call them. There's a whole bunch of like real credible shit and like mass sightings that I would like to do, but I gotta like research them because I just, you know, when I put in UFO news, all this fucking bullshit came up. Anyway, party people, this has been the end of the episode. We went a long time, and I hope you guys had fun, and I hope you shake your groove thing, and we'll get back to it next week, and we'll have episodes weekly from now on. And if I miss 1 week, fucking just chill. But I won't. I will try not to. So everybody, peace and love, happiness and alien panspermia all around. And yeah, I love you. Give everybody a big smooch for me. Thank you. Goodbye.
Established in 399 BC, this is the Catacomb Cult.